In 1890, Denver was a city built on gold and sawdust. John Mouat, a Scottish immigrant who arrived with nothing but hunger for power, decided to build a monument to his own vanity. The Lumber Baron Inn wasn't just a house, it was a fortress of conquest. John made his fortune by harvesting the ancient forests of the West. Every room in this 8,500 square foot mansion was a different trophy. Cherry, walnut, sycamore, and oak, skeletons of trees he leveled to build his empire. It was designed to be the warmest home in the Highlands, but history has a way of soaking into the grain. While the cherry wood glowed under the gaslight, a coldness settled into the floorboards that no fireplace could touch. The darkness here wasn't built on an ancient burial ground. It was invited by the arrogance of the man who lived here. But the Gilded Age was often just a thin coat of gold paint over rot. In the panic of 1893, the economy collapsed and John's fortune vanished almost overnight. The palace became a prison of debt. The family was forced out, and for decades, the house sat waiting. Grandeur gave way to neglect. The mansion was carved up into a labyrinth of 23 cheap apartments, a tenement for transients and runaways who had nowhere else to go. The wallpaper peeled like dead skin. The house began to collect a different kind of tenant. By October 1970, the Lumber Baron Inn was no longer a mansion. It was a pressure cooker of urban decay, and this is where the story turns from spooky to visceral nightmare. Cara Lee Koch was only 17 years old, an artist, a runaway, trying to find her footing in a world that felt like it is coming apart at the seams. She lived in what we now call the Valentine Suite. On October 12, 1970, the silence in that room was shattered. The police reports describe a horrific attack. Cara was found underneath her bed. She had been strangled with such force that it suggested more than just a robbery. It suggested a frantic, personal rage. But she wasn't the only victim. Her friend, 18-year-old Marianne Weaver, came to visit that afternoon, unaware she is walking into a slaughterhouse. It's believed Marianne walked in on the assailant. She was shot in the head before she could even scream. Two girls, barely adults, saw their lives extinguished in a room built to showcase the beauty of American oak. The killer simply stepped out of the house and vanished into the shadows of the city. No arrests were ever made. The case remains ice cold, frozen in the woodwork. Today, the Valentine Suite is beautiful again, restored to its former glory. But guests who stay there say the beauty is a mask. You don't just see the ghost, you feel the weight of them. It usually begins at 3 a.m. A heavy static fills the air, making your skin crawl. Then comes the smell, not the scent of rot, but of roses. Heavy cloying, funeral roses. It's suffocating, as if the air itself is being squeezed out of the room. Paranormal investigators have recorded whispers here for decades. They don't scream, they plead. They ask why. Some guests report seeing a young woman standing at the foot of her bed. She isn't there to haunt you. She is scanning your face with an intensity that freezes your blood, still looking for the man who took her life 55 years ago. But the girls aren't the only ones left behind. Deep in the basement and lurking in the corners of the grand staircase is something far more predatory. They call him the Tall Man. He wears a dark, dated suit. He doesn't feel like a victim. He feels like an authority. Some believe it's John himself, furious that strangers are sleeping in his empire, trespassing in his home, Others believe it's the residual dark energy of the killer, stained into the walls like varnish. When the tall man is near, the smell of roses vanishes, replaced by the sharp, acrid stench of stale cigarette smoke. You'll feel a wave of sudden, potent nausea that can force you to your knees. He isn't asking for help like the others. He wants you out. You can book a room at the Lumber Baron Inn today. You can eat a gourmet breakfast and admire the craftsmanship that saved this place from being demolished. But when the sun sets and the modern city goes quiet, the Gilded Age fades away. The woodwork begins to groan under the weight of its secrets. You realize you aren't just a guest here. You are a witness. You are sleeping inside a cold case file, and the witnesses are still here, desperately trying to tell you their story. The dead have a way of making sure they are heard. The question is, are you listening? Next, I'm going to New York City, the House of Death on West 10th Street, the Morris Jumel Mansion.